And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. Hey, we did that right on time this time. We're getting better.
What's good, man? What's good?
What's good, Herman? How are you, man? Happy Wednesday to you. Hump day?
Well, I'm good. How's your Wednesday doing? You know, like I said,
it's good. It's good. It's good. I had a doctor's appointment earlier, but today was really a good day for me. It was actually a nice day.
I had a long day so far. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little longer. But I had to take my niece to the dentist today.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
All right, you're doing the uncle thing. Nothing wrong with that.
You gotta do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So happy hump day. What's up, Rob C, Wayne B, SJM Drones? Explicit was here earlier. I'm sure that whoever was here earlier will be back. Happy hump day to you. What's up, everyone?
How's everyone's middle of the week doing?
Yeah.
I hope you guys have been able to get out and fly. DJI has provided a lot of products for you guys to fly, and so has Autel.
And no excuses. If you got a drone and you're not flying, you're just playing scurv.
There's a lot of drones have come out since Christmas time. You know, a lot of drones.
I agree with a lot of drones from
with DJI alone. What we had since Christmas week, like November, we got the Mavic 2.
Hey,
then
Hal,
then after that, and it's honestly, it's just been consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the the Mini 3 and all of that came. Waiting on a new FPV drone. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things going on. So, you know, a lot of drones came out. Autel released since
a few drones Autel released.
The Nano and the Light series and all that. So there's plenty of stuff to fly.
Wayne B says, got an excuse. Thunderstorms rolling in tonight. Yeah, you got an excuse to fly. Listen, if you can see them off in a distance, and if you can set your exposure for long exposure and just stand there and do a hyperlapse, you could catch some really good footage. I'm waiting for the next storm to actually be off of the coast of New York to give it a shot. I've never tried to catch an oncoming storm, lightning storm, but I'm willing to do it now. Susan Lee, how are you? Shows us so much love.
Do you remember the night out by the bridge?
As soon as the drones touched the ground, the sky opened up. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
You know what? That's true. That was my first time doing that.
The flashes of lightning. And as soon as we came down, the sky
opened. As soon as the last drone touched the ground, the sky opened up. You're right. That's I have shot a storm before, but I wasn't as experienced with a camera as I am now. So now even more want to do it.
You would have got caught in the rain shooting that.
Yeah, that's true. Because coming back, and I had the Phantom 4.
That ring.
And I had the Phantom 4 Pro.
That ring.
Cool Bic had his Mavic 2 Bro. You had your V2. And coming back, JSK, coming backwards, looking at the storm, the drone was like this. It's like, uh-oh, the wind is coming. I need to hurry up and come back and land. And as soon as that drone touched the ground, I think you were already down. Ray was already down, and I was coming back. Oh my goodness. And even standing remember, we were standing under the tailgate and we're getting drenched. It was coming down so much. But anyway, how's everybody this evening? It's hump day.
Hump day. Middle of the week.
What's good with you, man? What you got? Oh, that's right. You will be going to Virginia.
Yeah, I'm be going to Virginia at the end of the week. Making a move down to Virginia. Not moving down to Virginia, but
right. But if you're in the Virginia area and there's a possibility
told you last week. I did. Now I forgot again.
You
With
said
it.
Waynesburg, Waynesburg, or something weird like that. Waynesville. Okay, all right. I remember. I got the W right.
So you got caught up with what Wayne's World?
Yeah, I guess, man. I guess. You know what made me say Wayne? Because I looked at the chat and Wayne said, "Hey, Susan," to Susan Lee. And you know how you're saying something and you may see a word somewhere else and it just gets blasted in. But
And you know what's so funny about this?
uh
You've been to fly in this area 101 times here in New York. Williamsburg.
yes. Williamsburg. That's it. That's where he's going. If you're in the Williamsburg area or close by, holler at Herman. Maybe you guys can get together and go, or girls can go out and get a flight in real quick.
Who?
Guys or girls? Gals.
Oh. Hey, JSK, what's good, man?
Yeah, how's everyone? Well, anyway, I hope that everyone's getting a chance to fly. This was one of the pictures. Remember you called me that day and I told you I was flying? This earlier this week, it was.
Right.
I believe. This was what I was trying out doing. And this is actually a panorama behind me, but I was able to crop it in for the background.
You know, I wanted to ask if anybody else was having any issues with the orders for the new RC.
RC.
Yeah.
I think Ray Kelly said on his live stream that he ordered his in June,
right,
and still hasn't received it.
Still hasn't received it.
Yeah. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe he'll come in later. Oh, well, JSK says, "Cool. My brother lives in Williamsburg." Okay, all right. Well, Herman will be down there. What card did you manage to get? Oh, okay. They're talking GPU cards. In the chat, Hal 9000 was saying, "I canned my Mini 3 Pro and got a new GPU card since prices dropped. I'll burn up the sky with my Air 2S." Oh. Congratulations on your new card. Hope you enjoy it. Jackson RC, what's up, Chris? How are you, man? Hope all is well. But anyway,
what did you get?
Yeah, what did you get exactly? Yeah, someone asked that also. Explicit was good, man.
There's a lot of high-end cards in the store right now.
Well, at least here in New York in Micro Center, yeah. And where do you get your parts, Hal 9000? Well, Wayne B asked him what kind of card did he get, and where did you get it from? I know they don't have a whole bunch of Micro Centers across the United States, but a few states have it.
Seems like there's quite a few, but I don't know what. I really don't know what states they're in. I couldn't tell you offhand.
Okay.
I really couldn't. I know they're in California.
You know that you should do a video
here. I know they're in Jersey.
Yeah. You know that video you sent me of your tower?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the inside of a hypercar's motor. Okay. A hypercar. It looks like the inside motor area with lights. In the video. You know, they have the hypercars, the let's see, like the Zonda. That's a hypercar. It looks like if you open the hood, that's what your computer looks like inside.
Oh.
From the video you sent me.
That's because of the what you see is the back of the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but congratulations on that. Now let's see. Everything. Yeah. Oh, I was just checking.
No, you know what? I haven't I've been doing so many different things. I haven't been able to get out and fly. I'm dying.
You. That's why.
I mean, I haven't.
Go ahead.
No, what you saying?
I said I think it was Saturday I went out and flew. I've been dying to get out and do some real flying too, but haven't had the chance.
Do what I want to do and just go.
it's not that easy. And I'm trying to get in as much as I can before the weather starts changing. Even though here in New York, we fly all year round.
Yeah, winter is not until the end.
End of December?
Yeah.
Because we haven't had any real winters. I mean, we had one a year before. Huh?
Going into the new year.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, I hope to see some new videos from you guys and gals out there. I'm always looking forward to seeing new stuff, new pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I had lost the window for a second. It's there. I thought I had.
Didn't lose nothing. No, but I just wanted to know if guys really been out there enjoying it, because I know there's been a lot of updates with these drones and stuff like that, fine tuning them, and it seemed like all of them working just fine right now.
Sorry to interrupt real quick. That's who invited us to Connecticut and fly. Explicit. Remember we were mentioning we got to get to some places and fly with some of these guys?
Yeah.
Explicit FPV in the chat was saying y'all got to come to Connecticut and fly.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm trying to figure here, because if I don't do it before I go, when I get back,
it's football season.
When I come back, right, I'll be gone. Oh, wait a minute.
SJM, I hope you guys get some decent weather so you can get some flying in tomorrow. Wow. Winter. Well, Susan Lee says winter is a dirty word. I agree with you, Susan. 100%.
I'll be in camp the end of the month.
All right, Explicit. I will keep that in mind. He says any Saturday, Herman. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. Blind Neil, how are you? Yes, click that like button, guys, if you haven't already.
Like the 19th or the 26th or something like that on that week. That 20th, the 20th, or the 27th. Those are good days. I mean,
okay, on a Saturday, Explicit. I will try, and we will try and make it up to Connecticut. What parts of Connecticut are we talking about, Explicit? So we know about how far the drive is, time-wise.
It's far anyway.
But I know, it's going to be at least 3 hours.
No.
Well, not really, because going up to Rhode Island, we hit Connecticut pretty good.
No, depends on where you're going.
Hey, little Laura. Little Laura, I got a shirt for you that'll be going out possibly Friday or Saturday. I'm like really busy this week up until Thursday. So Enfield, Connecticut, Herman. All right, I will text you Explicit and we'll try and figure out something for maybe the 20th or the 27th. So FYI, guys, those guys may be going to Connecticut on that weekend. One of those weekends. We'll try and make everything work. How are you, Blind Neil? I hope all is well with you. Off 91, he says. Okay, I'm not too familiar with the area, but we have the town that's close enough.
Right now it's about 3 hours.
Rush hour, yeah. Rush hour from New York, rush hour upstate New York, and rush hour going into Connecticut.
Yeah, that's true.
Ray Kelly, now you can ask that question again, Herman.
You
can ask that question again about who has ordered the RC controller, and have you heard from DJI and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, for the guys that order it from DJI, I don't think that there's a problem with getting it. It's the other places.
I said DJI, but I meant in general.
You know, I just, because I look at the little box when you go to those sites, and when you go to DJI's online store, it'll show you that when you're expected to receive. Now, I don't know how true that is.
Right.
I mean, it's been the last couple of times I ordered with them, it was correct.
Hey, Tony.
But I don't know. I don't know how long the wait is. I know that you got places like Adorama, and them will tell you they had it in stock or it's on their thing on sale, sale, and you'll purchase it or order it, and then you gotta wait.
Jackson RC's
shipped to you.
Go ahead. I just Jackson RC says they're just off Route 81 south. So we're gonna, well, Herman is a football coach. So in between football coach, personal life, and everything in between those guys will try and get around and get some flying done with you guys as best we can. Hey Scott, how are you? Jackrabbit FPV.
Well, we got a couple of things we got to prepare for. So,
yeah, this is true. This is very, very true.
But yeah, I mean, back to the drone business. But yeah, I'll be in what's that, Williamsburg, Virginia, the end of the
weekend.
And
see a drone in the air, it just might be Herman's.
Maybe in Connecticut in the next week or so, because if we got to leave out of here early.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, definitely. So we can get up there. He's
on the far side.
Explicit says, oh wow. Explicit says that Saturday's traffic is usually pretty light in Connecticut, but I find that hard to believe when every time you're on the highway in Connecticut, you're not going nowhere. Even on a Sunday, right?
Connecticut highways always got traffic.
It's all good. But he's been inviting us up there for a while. Jackson RC says we could meet halfway, Delaware's 95 south. If we go south, Jackson RC is willing to meet halfway. Said make sure you pack good multiple awesome areas within a few minutes of my home. Oh, okay. All right. That's what's up. If we can fly camera drone and definitely FPV, but camera drone as well, that would be great. Oh, JSK says, I saw an email from DJI saying the Mini 3 Pro is back in stock and ready for adventure. Interesting. People are still trying to get their RC controllers that they ordered. Is it right?
They buy the drone just to get the controller.
That's a damn shame. That's a shame. But what can you say, right?
Hey, listen, it's
I understand. I'm waiting on
a rated screen.
I understand totally.
On your controller. Told you, turn the drone on, turn the controller on, and wait for the home point.
You'll be coming on 91 through Mass into Connecticut, and I'm like the third exit in Connecticut, so you're barely even on the highway there. Okay, we'll definitely keep it's the south part of the state that sucks.
They're making the drones today now, like this Mini 3. That's the Batman drone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it on your utility belt. As you're running down the street, you pull the drone off, pull the controller out, pop the legs out, and hit the button.
That's it. You're ready to go.
Hit the button. Wait for the home point.
As opposed to back in the day where remember back in the day where we had to lay the bag down, pull the drone out, pull out all four propellers. We didn't have foldable propellers. Screw on the propellers and then take your radio. It's right. All propellers at the same time, at one after another. Then you took your controller and you took out the wire and connected it to whatever peripheral device you had. They connected the controller. It now, like you said, like Batman, you pull out the Mini 3 here and you pull out the controller here. Like the Western days, you have them in holsters.
All of that. And after all of that, you still had to do the dance. The DJI dance, get the home point. Those were the days.
Oh,
seems like just yesterday.
Jackson RC's bidding to get us to come down there too. He says, I'm 10 minutes from West Virginia border, 5 minutes from PA border, and 20 minutes from the Virginia border. Listen. We still got a lot of good weather coming in, and Herman and I need to shoot a couple of more of those guys are at it again videos.
Listen. If I got the family with
Little
me
Munyon Island
in Virginia.
What's that?
I have the family with me when I go to Virginia.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people to shake.
You almost made me spit up my drink.
To be going to the border of another state.
And in order to skim all the people, Herman, you'd probably have to hit them all off with some money and say, go to the mall and break out in the other direction. If you wanted to get away from all those people down there. I didn't like giving them all money part, huh?
When you pay for the trip, I shouldn't have to pay for the adventure.
True. Oh, you already paid for everything. Damn. No wonder you made that face when I said give them all money. You gave them money by paying for the trip, right?
Money. When you pay for the trip, you shouldn't have to pay for the adventure too. That's like cooking the meal and washing dishes.
And I just want to answer Explicit's question, and then we can get on with what we want to do. Jackson RC still bidding, 3 hours from Delaware. Explicit asks, what are my thoughts on the DJI FPV drone? And I will be honest with you, until DJI comes out with a carbon fiber drone, I'm not interested. Plain and simple. I'm not going to spend $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 on a drone to crash it and have it tumble like an egg and pick up pieces and not be able to put it back together again.
Oh man, sure you can.
No,
but you know what, Lawrence? I wanted to talk to you about that thing we were looking at before because I just wanted to mention that. I mean, how would you say that? Would you call that RIMPAC?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I said. It's like the rim of the Pacific, right?
Yes, it is the rim of the Pacific, and basically like the underwater volcanic islands. That's that actual rim on the Pacific where they'll be doing those exercises.
Right. So RIMPAC 22, right?
Yes.
So it's the world's largest, I guess,
maritime exercise.
It's an international maritime exercise.
Yes.
That I guess that's involved with they said 40 ships, more than 40 ships, because I saw some video of them sailing information from last year's show.
Okay.
From last year, well, not show, but from exercising. It's going on as we speak, but it's some exercise, like I said, it has over.
Right, it takes several months.
Yeah, it was just a few weeks actually. It's just a few weeks. It goes from the end of last month into the beginning of this month. And what they say, 30 UAS plus over 50 aircraft from 27 participating nations or partner nations. So that's real interesting. But you know what's funny is that they're saying that making it historical first to this show.
Sorry about that.
Air Force U.S. Air Force MQ-9 UAS.
Yes,
it's the first time it's going to be in these exercises.
Yes.
So this is taking place right now in Hawaii and in the southern area of California.
And it started in June and will just be ending a week or two into this month, August. And for those of you who don't,
big exercises that they're doing.
Right. For those of you who don't know, this is the largest international maritime game in the world. There are countries from all, like Herman mentioned, there are countries involved in this from all around the world. Of course, most of our allies. And the main part of the story is Flight Horizon Commander. If no one's
heard. They're the ones that are supporting it. That and what's the other? There's another company involved in that too, but they're supporting the operations.
Vigilant Aerospace.
Yeah,
Yes, is the name of the other company.
yeah, they're supporting this whole operations that's going on with this flight of
Fly
this.
safe, Chris.
So that's just one of the things I wanted to mention.
Well, I think that it's very interesting because I did a little more reading about this Flight Horizon Commander. And what this Flight Horizon Commander is it sounds like a UTM, an unmanned traffic management system, because this particular, you correct me if I'm wrong, this Flight Horizon Commander system will be able to implement detect and avoid systems of every aircraft, every ship, every vehicle that's involved in this.
Well, what I think it involves is a system for operating this the MQ-9 UAS.
Yes, but
not so much a traffic management system to develop to be able to manage other aircraft, but for that aircraft to be able to navigate through airspace and avoid everything
Johnny.
else.
Right. Well, okay, I might have misunderstood.
This is something that is going to fly beyond the visual. Listen, it is going to fly beyond the visual line of sight.
Yes. But now keep in mind this MQ-9 also, this Flight Horizon Commander technology, the technology that's in it is will enable it to fly amongst planes and aircraft that are doing all these maneuvers. And it's supposed to avoid all of this stuff. It's supposed to be able to fly and take logistical data and track every aircraft, every ship, and everything that's in that area. Well, they'll have more than one MQ-9. It's not just one drone flying around during his maneuvers. They'll have some monitoring the ships. They'll have some monitoring the aircraft.
Well, what they say is that there's going to be more than 30. UAS. So it's going to be different types, but this is the first time that this model has ever been in the operations for these maneuvers.
Hey, Marcel, what's good?
Awesome.
Well, I hope it turns out good. I would be interested to know the logistics of this RIMPAC 2022.
I'm not going to find that out. They'll just give you some surmise story on
because
what he said.
They actually showed,
but right they got video.
This is actually, I believe, this is actually the MQ, MQ-9B. Let me pull it up. I froze the picture of it here.
This other video.
This is it right here. Yes.
Not very much.
Right. They didn't show much. Now, if you notice, if I go to the beginning of the video, they will show Reapers and stuff that they're monitoring, but this is the actual MQ-9 right here. And it's supposed to fly around and take data, I'm guessing with however they design it. And it's supposed to monitor all Reapers and aircraft in the air, as well as vehicles on the ground. Each one of those MQ-9s can monitor more than several vehicles. They're talking large numbers of aircraft and vehicles at the same time, while avoiding each and every one of them also. They keep going back to showing the Reapers on the ground, so I don't know if they're actually attaching them to these birds here.
Into NASA and tell them you got a Part 107, move over, let me get the sticks.
I want to fly one of those babies. I have more than 6 years experience flying. That would be nice, right? That would be real nice, wouldn't it?
Let me get the sticks.
Yeah, Raymond's 100% right. It is an unmanned AWACS system that basically, remember they used to have that giant disc? They still have them. Remember we were flying over by Ray and we saw the AWACS plane flying low? with the big spinning disc on top of it, looked like it had a giant flying saucer on top of it. Yeah, well, this is the refined version of it.
That was the day the video got messed up on the drone.
Yeah, we were out. For those of you who don't know, we were actually out flying with Cool Bic. I don't remember if Big Matt was there, but we were flying with Cool Bic on a
I think Matt
rooftop
was there.
over the New York Harbor. And every now and then we would get a little interference, and then come to find out an AWACS plane was flying below 500 feet. Wasn't it flying rather low over the Statue of Liberty? I remember seeing it really low.
It wasn't that low, but it's a big plane.
Yes, it's a very big plane.
That's
I would
close.
say, hey, Mendez Drone Ops, I would say it was under 500 feet, though, definitely. And as it flew down the East River, if you had a drone in the air, you got interference and all kinds of crazy things on your screen. And then once it went by, all of that information, everything went back to normal. Ekarasho, how are you, sir? Welcome to Wednesday Nights with those guys.
Welcome.
So if you don't know about RIMPAC 2022, they are international war games going on from June until about the middle of August, happening right off the coast of California. Going
so if you're
on
out there fishing,
if you're out there fishing,
or flying your drone, be careful.
Yeah, for real, definitely.
Yeah, Lawrence. But on a sadder note, in China, and I'm quite sure some of you guys have probably heard this. 5-year-old girl, little kindergartner, was severely injured when a drone fell out of the sky during, I had to read this a couple of times when I read this.
I did too.
A planned school shoot. School photo shoot.
Kindergarten.
Because it said, I read it. I saw it say a planned school shooting, and I was like, photo shoot. Okay,
yeah.
It was a planned photo shoot at the school. With the school, and they had were using a drone to get this photo. Now they claim it's not uncommon that a drone will be used.
I'm just showing the picture because
the drone fell out of the sky and hit this little girl in the face, and she was lacerated.
Large lacerations in the middle of her face.
Showing the pictures. This is terrible.
And one under the eye, and luckily she did not lose her eye.
Yeah. This was I saw this in a lot of places. First on Twitter with what's this guy? Kenja.
Hey, Copper.
However you pronounce his name.
You might do better than me.
Kanjanji.
Yes, Kanjanji. I say Kanjanji. We're probably massacring the name, but that's what the article
basically was saying. Well, he was the one that actually put this out somewhat, and then it was regurgitated a couple of times and elsewhere, and I saw it again on was that Drone XL?
Yes,
and a story on it too. But apparently he got this information from the television and radio.
Yes. Now I want to point out also in this story they go on to say that this town where this happened is a city, not town. It's a city.
A lot of people.
31 million people. Now, the classes are so large that it was the drone pilot was actually someone who worked for the kindergarten school. And the class, this is how they normally take pictures. The classes are so large. You know how you used to go and get on stage, take the photos? Well, this is an entire kindergarten school, and the classes were so large that the only way to get a group shot was with a drone.
Yeah.
That's how large the kindergarten. Hey, Maddie, what's good? That's how large the kindergarten classes are over there where this event happened. And unfortunately, did you get the conversion of the money? Because the article goes on to say I did the conversion. I did do the conversion. I'm trying to see the amount here. Scroll up. Okay.
They were
They said it was
compensated.
30,000. It was 30,000 UN or 4,350 euros, which comes to about $4,000 and change that they paid the family in reciprocation. It says, according to reports, the kindergarten kept a low profile of its issue, and a compensation payment was given to the family to settle the case out of court. So they basically paid the family $4,000 US.
You needed to speak to those people who suing Sesame Place.
Yeah. Because that kid and the child got a total of 21 stitches.
Yeah, that was terrible.
It is because now that child will heal, but and be somewhat discomfort for a while. But the drone incident serves as a reminder to keep a safe distance from people, and proper cages may have prevented this from happening.
It does, but I'm just curious to know, like, how it was it happening on the takeoff to get out to get the picture? Because
no, from what I understand, where he was taking the picture of this large group of people, of students, there were people behind him, and he was actually hovering over a group of people when the drone went out of the air. It says the unmanned aircraft fell out of the sky during the flight and hit the girl while the props were still spinning.
Right, they hit it while the props were spinning. Yeah,
I would like to know what drone this was, because usually when DJI drones tilt beyond a certain angle, the motor's shut. They did not, if you notice, say what type of drone it was.
That's true too, but
so I can't say anything.
DJI is big here. I'm quite sure they're big in China.
Yeah, I'm sure of it too. I'm more than sure of it too. But anyway, I think the little girl, the 5-year-old girl's family, should have been reciprocated with more than just $4,000 in change for their child to get 21 stitches and have her face lacerated.
Medical bills would eat that up.
American lawyers would be fighting each other like dogs for that case.
What?
Yeah, they did not say what drone it was, Copper State, unfortunately. All they say is that because of the size of the school, and they were specific to point out this city had 31 million people.
Right, well, that's because they were trying to show you that how common it is for that to be done, to be done.
Yeah.
To use a drone to get that kind of shot because of the size of the group.
Right. This was happening outside. It was an outside event. Unfortunately, it fell and hit the little girl, and she's scarred up across her face. I'm not going to show the picture anymore. I just closed it down.
I didn't like that.
But we may have never seen this news if it wasn't for wait a minute, I'm trying to get a kanji or kanji, whatever this particular
fragile.
Exactly. How are you, Max? There, hope all is well.
Max, yeah. 420 every day, all day.
It was just interesting because I remember the story that we did the first one on a Flight Horizon, a Vigilant Aerospace System.
What about it?
I have a video here that I will not show because it goes into detail on what Vigilant Aerosystems does and what this Flight Horizon. It's a Flight Horizon explained.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So if you want to check out the first story that we did, this will explain what Flight Horizon is and how they are using it right now in the military war games, international war games happening off the coast of California right now from June until the middle of August. It's just they're implementing like Draymond mentioned, a AWACS system that will be able to fly amongst aircraft and ships and monitor everything and get great logistics while avoiding stuff itself.
Oh yeah,
and that's that.
great thing.
Click
But you
that
know what?
like button, guys. There's a lot of people in here. I know we have a lot of lurkers out there, but we're used to them.
Yeah, hit the
Um,
like button.
Click that like button, guys, to not just to show support, but to show YouTube you support us.
Well, you know what, Lawrence?
Message. Hold on.
Yeah. What happened?
I need to view something that was deleted.
What?
No, go ahead. I got it. Go ahead.
Oh.
Just saw somebody had posted something and it was deleted by someone.
Oh. Well, I saw that was that Mendez?
Yes, that's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Mendez, for that.
There was an announcement by NASA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, NASA is very instrumental now with Airbus and a couple other companies. And matter of fact, we were supposed to get a break from the spot for the sponsor at this.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, hold on a
We
second.
can do that. We have to show we have to support our sponsors because without them, we wouldn't be here.
Right. So
Right?
Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Sponsored by
those
guys and only those guys.
Yeah. Now, back to the show.
So much for our sponsors.
Yeah, like I said, NASA got a very instrumental now with Airbus and a couple other companies in this whole urban air mobility thingy.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, in an announcement made by NASA, they recently signed a Space Act agreement with the San Francisco-based Zipline. See, this is the story that was talking about what this is. I wouldn't say the story, but the articles that I've read basically are because this, like, once again, I'm seeing this all over the place, and in New York Times even. But if you, this is go back to what you were saying about Zipline, because you know, this they signed this, like I said, with Zipline to pursue future vision of UAS aviation that includes delivery drones and air taxis.
Right.
Now, the main focal point of what they're focused on is what they call MN operations. Now, I don't know if most of you are familiar with this term, but the concept has to do with one pilot commanding multiple drones.
Yes.
Now, this is something that NASA is looking to leverage Zipline's knowledge of, and Zipline is going to be able to use NASA's vast experience of airspace
to show them how it's done.
To be able to create what they're trying to do here. So what I like about it is that if you look at some of the things that's going on at this, Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're very interested in gathering community impact. So basically feedback from the community,
right,
on what they are, you know, what, not so much their interests, but what, you know, like, because like I said, you got to the whole integration, meaning that you really have to get people on board with this. And remember we talked about that vertiport over in Europe,
yeah,
that's been open for a year. That's what they use in the vertiport to do,
right,
to educate the people on this and to
get them used to
make it easier.
Get them used
people
to seeing
understand
stuff.
how it works. You know,
yes.
that was one of the things that they were looking at, you know, and like I said, trying to find out that type of information is key to being able to build those platforms that they're talking about with drone delivery and air taxi.
Yes.
I mean, air taxi, I don't think that would be widespread to the point of the vast majority. You're still going to be stuck in traffic with the regular layman.
Of course.
Air taxi more so for those same people who were using helicopters.
Listen, the air taxis, well, you'll have to wait for an air taxi. You'll have to wait for an air taxi to take off. You'll have to wait for an air taxi to land. You'll have to wait in an air taxi for clearance to land. You know the deal. It'll be just like the airports. Eventually, everything trickles down to a traffic jam if you think about it. It does. Your supermarket. You go to the supermarket, there's a traffic jam in the supermarket. There's always some idiot in the middle of the aisle, 50 feet away from their cart, blocking the aisle. How many times you see it in Costco? And Costco has aisles big enough for forklifts to run up and down.
But you know what you're talking about with Costco's? It's pretty much the same reason why you have the problems that you might find in Costco's and those places, the same reason why you have traffic jams in the street.
Yeah.
You know, somebody in Costco's will always just leave their car. And then even in the supermarket, they'll just walk down the aisle and be like, ooh, leave the cart and go straight to the ooh. Like children. Instead of moving their cart to the side and then go get it. All 40 of them are can fly off the shelf before you walk 2 feet. You know, when people do that, and you can't get by. You know, but that it is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, Jody, I'm gonna hold on to that video to show it a little later.
You know, but yeah, you know, but why Zipline? Well, Zipline is already using this MN operations
because they've been doing
here in the United States, Japan, Germany. I mean, not Germany.
No,
not Ghana, but in Ghana. But you know, of course, Rwanda, because they've been there forever.
Right. That's true. Well, they came here to the United States to show us how they do it. And in the United States, when they came here, they came with their logistics to say, look, this is how it's done.
Damn lumbar cushion in this damn.
Okay. I've gotten Amazon delivery 3 times in the last 5 days. One of the package was enormously marked delivered. How is Amazon drone going to deliver a package under my roof or front porch? They're not. Hey, Michael Blades, they're going to pay the guy to deliver it that last half mile or that last mile. That's pretty much how it's going to go.
They're not. If you don't see, I don't see them branching out too much further than wherever the hub is.
Right. You have a valid point there.
Happening. And there are companies right now that are doing the drone deliveries that are developing different aircrafts for different size deliveries. They're looking to get into larger deliveries, but who knows? Maybe you can get more than just a bar of soap and some toothpaste.
That's an interesting video, Jody. I'm definitely going to show that towards the end of the live stream. Jody got us something. We got a video to show at the end of the live stream. Gary, what's good, man? Gary, how puffin? Gary, how puffin are you? Gary had to put out a video this morning with what's on an island where there's a bunch of puffin birds, and the comment I left, that's a lot of puffin birds. So I had to say hello to him that way. Brian Cartwright, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Happy Hump Day to everyone, and welcome to Wednesday night.
Ran up on them.
What's that?
The birds.
Yeah, there was an island with a bunch of those puffins, and I just made a little pun when I left.
I actually saw a program when they were on some island or wherever one time where they had a bunch of them. Maybe it's the same place.
It's a possibility. I'm glad you're doing puffing great, Gary. Anyway, we here at Those Guys appreciate you guys so much.
They're hooked up with your company, the Zipline.
Zipline is, we've been talking about Zipline for years. And that's good to say that we've been doing this live stream.
It's finally glad to see an American company back in America, working in America.
It's a shame. Well, it's funny you say that, because it's a shame that Zipline, like you said, is an American company. They had to go abroad to prove that their system worked, and what better place to do it than in Africa?
Well, I mean, it's all about regulations. Regulations. And if there's lapsed or no regulations, then you set the standard.
Be careful out there, Wayne B. Tornado warning issued for southwestern Ontario, Canada.
So now that they can, and it's been proven that,
now they're back here in the United States, and NASA is interested.
NASA's interested in a lot of things.
Yeah, I know. If it goes up in the air and doesn't come down and go boom, they want it.
NASA's interested in a lot of things.
Yeah,
a whole lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of different technologies. There's
because think about it. What did they say that they wanted this for? For the logistics, so that way they could develop air taxis and drone delivery.
Right, and multiple.
Same thing what they're doing with everybody else with the whole urban air mobility and advanced air mobility.
This, they want to specifically focus on a pilot being able to fly more than one drone.
Right, that's in the old MN operations.
MN operations, yes. So I wonder if you're a 107 pilot, what are the certifications you would need to be able to fly multiple drones?
That's quite interesting, because I think it would be a waiver, but as far as a company is concerned,
right,
that would probably go under their certification.
Okay, you know what? You're probably right about that.
I can't be sure. I'm not because I know that you have to have another certification for spraying pesticides.
Yeah, just like you can't get those pesticides delivered to your house, because I had to throw that in there, Herman. Because if you could, everyone would definitely get rid of the rodents, squirrels, and everything else that live near their house. You can't go to the store and get what is it? You can't go to the store and get I can't think of the job description. Exterminator grade poison. You need certification.
There's a few things you can't pick up.
Yeah. So. But it's funny, because that's just.
But then there's other things that they'll allow you to buy. That
I know they'll allow you to buy something that'll decapitate the rodent. They'll allow you to buy something to decapitate the rodent. They won't allow you poisons to get rid of it.
Well, that's because.
Hey, Bill, how are you, coast to coast?
That's because what has happened is, and we spoke on this before. Now, if you're a hawk or an eagle or something like that or whatever, and you see this rodent and he's moving, maybe a little bit of work to get him, right?
Yeah.
But the one that's lethargic because he ate that poison.
The one holding his belly going, I shouldn't have had that last bite.
You scoop out and get him real quick, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now you sick too.
That is true. You have a valid point there. But I'd like to say Zipline. We've been doing stories about Zipline and their instant logistics and how they do first medical drone delivery operations in Africa, Ghana, Rwanda, Japan, like you said, now in the US. Let's see what they can do here. Let them show us how it's done.
In the United States,
it's been working. Haven't they been doing
trials?
Well, let me see. When was Zipline created?
What happened?
I'm trying to find out when did Zipline
Well, they're from San Francisco.
start?
Was it
They started in
15?
2014.
Okay.
2014, and they
When you
are the
when you
headquarters is in South San Francisco, California, and the areas that they have served since 2014: Rwanda, Ghana, Japan, and now America added to the list. So kudos to them. They were founded in 2014, and
they took
how
their
they
first flight in the United States back in May.
wow. And you know what's cool about Zipline? Their drop system is so
To
accurate
release.
that their release and drop
There
system
you
is
go.
so accurate they can land within 2 car lengths anywhere.
I don't know. It looks like it drops right on the spot to me.
And no, I'm saying they give a leadway of 2 car lanes. They claim, but it drops on the dime. Hold on, let me zip line drops ratio, zip line drop ratio. See that? See, I like when you type in stuff and they just help you out with it.
Mhm.
I'm checking out
It
calculating
heard
height.
what you was thinking.
Huh?
It heard what you were thinking.
Yeah, right. I'm just trying to let this commercial go through so I can see.
Now
Um,
isn't that not disturbing?
it is.
That it
It
heard
is.
what you were thinking.
Well, I don't know about herd, but it's pretty close because I know I can mention things with my cell phone nearby, and
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden I'm
And
getting
stuff
like
comes up on your computer, right?
my ex and I were talking about looking at houses, and 3 days later I started receiving freaking emails for looking at houses. So, oh, here's the Zipline video that I found. I just wanted to point out Zipline has been around since 2018, actively working. They can drop a package within the
14,
size.
14,
Oh, 2014, yes.
14.
They can drop a package they claim a 2 car length size on space, but they actually are more accurate than that. They give it a how would you say, a range, a radius, I guess accounting for wind and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing is very accurate. And the fact that they use the catapult, like the aircraft catch system to catch it on the
But
way back.
autonomous. You see, and
Yeah.
that's the next thing that they're talking about, because these missions are not just you know, saying that we want one pilot to operate multiple drones.
Right.
Basically autonomous, because you got to remember that these things are, lines of longitude and latitude in the computer, and they find the mark.
Right. Right. Well, kudos to Zipline, to get NASA on board. Let's see what they make out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, NASA has their hands in everything, in everything. So MN operations, for a pilot to operate more than one UAV, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder what the pay scale is for that.
Yeah, So do you say to them like, well, see, I get paid $100 an hour. So if you got me doing 2 drones, that's gonna be like $200 an
This
hour.
is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. $100, $150 an hour.
Now you come outside, you walk out of human resources and be like, I think I asked for
JSK says them packages appear to be hitting the ground hard. No, but trust me, that package is, whatever's in that box is actually that there's a styrofoam box inside there. So
That's all right. That's okay.
If it's blood, it needs to be shaken before put into somebody anyway. So I'm just saying. As far as other things, but they are using it to deliver
You can't
packages and stuff, tests,
you can't
parts.
can't shake it too much, Lawrence, because if it's somebody that eats a lot of sugar, it might like get thick.
Oh wow, right? Start clotting. I hope not. Yeah, feel better, Bill. I'd like
Oh
to.
man, Bill, you all right?
Yeah, he wasn't. He says I'm about 85% today.
No, no,
Will return.
he wasn't doing so hot last week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's why I didn't go live. Was it a couple of weeks ago?
yeah. The same
Because
thing.
I was hurting.
You had the heebie-jeebies. He's like, yo, I haven't heard you felt like that in a minute.
Dude, I was out of it.
You're not the mucus factory anymore, right?
No, man, no.
Good,
I was sitting here.
good.
I was glue factory at one point.
That's funny. They said he's a glue factory. But
Yeah,
I
but
just
those missions are going to be not only like we talked about that before, but they're multiple drone operations. They're going to be autonomous flights, just like Zipline does. Zipline does. But what I wanted to speak on was something that came across the other day, and I seen something today in a couple of places. Now, your man here deals, and your homie Ostalugi,
yeah.
or
Oh, Cedar 50.
LV,
Ostalugi. It sounds like a booger. Ostalugi.
Osita LV.
Yes.
Yeah. They both posted some well, I would say leaked pictures, as you might want to call them, of the new DJI goggles too.
Yes.
Now, maybe the drone's coming right around the corner.
Well, I'm going to say something, and I've been noticing this with DJI, but when I noticed that certain reviewers are
Mhm.
getting these items to review, like Mad Tech is a gentleman who got the air unit with the camera, the actual 3.0
Mhm.
OcuSync 3 air unit with an actual camera. And once they start doing reviews of that stuff, it's shortly within a 2 to 3 month period that stuff usually comes out and
Right.
available to people.
Well, see, this happens now. What, 1 week later, or since the FCC database site
Yeah.
shows up. So
Yep.
now what we got here is they're saying that these are expected to be released with the new DJI, well, with DJI's new
Avatar.
first Sinwhoop drone. So this is these are nice. Those are
Well,
nice.
I'd like to,
They have it was a little smaller, a little smaller than the other ones,
well, look at this.
and
That's why
they
I brought
have
this.
this what, an air vent.
Yes, two air vents. That's why I brought this picture up to show that they're so small. This is next to a water bottle. Now, keep in mind, the, the, the
And
hands are
there's only
smaller.
two antennas.
Yes. That's with this one here. The antenna's up. Now, my only problem with this is, and maybe it may not, it may be my own personal peeve. When you have something with moving parts, there's a chance that moving part can break, snap off, or just loosen.
Well,
You know?
that's what I was saying. That's anything that's protruding from something.
Yes, but these are the vented systems that you were talking about.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't have DJI, this will show what channel you're on, etc. But they are refined. If you know the other goggles, Herman, you see where the back, the strap back is on his cap? The other goggles go all the way up here on your forehead.
Yeah.
Come down past the nose.
Right at the nose.
Yes. In fact, if it wasn't for the nose guard, it would probably slide off your face because they are really top heavy. I just wanted to point out because they're this big.
I wonder if
I own them. They're this big, Herman.
Yeah, but they weren't bad. These right here are even smaller.
which gives you more room to do like this. The problem with the V1 and the V2 goggles, and I love my V2, and I'm
You tell me
probably
if you
won't
go
get
like
to.
this, you would lean over and almost
If you
fall.
lean over, you feel like they're gonna fall off your head. Yes.
I thought you said you lean over and you'd fall over.
Oh no,
You're the
no,
fly in the
not
grass.
that, not that bad. It's not that bad. Seriously.
Timber! Somebody go, your shoes untied, you just fall over on the controller. No, but yeah, these seem to be, like I said, a little smaller. They feature only 2 antennas on it. So when you getting yours?
I'm not for a while. I just got mine. I just got mine back before we went to Florida.
No, I'm talking about this the new
The air unit?
no, the Sinwoo and the goggles.
Oh, I'm not getting it. Explicit was in the lobby early in the exhibitor, I think, about the new DJI FPV drone, and I said until DJI comes out with a carbon fiber frame, I'm not fucking with it.
But you don't need one with this one. This one is a Sinwoo. You could do all kind of nice little stuff with it. You should get one.
You think so?
Why not? I wonder what they're going to sell it for.
That'll be interesting too, because the other pair is still going for $500-600.
Or is it the goggles you're paying for?
Yeah.
That's it. I'd like to know what what the price is going to be on that. When is it coming out? Because we don't have a date on that either.
True.
That's what I'd like to know. How much is that thing going to cost? Because I remember when the first. Okay, you see how they did the whole Mini 3 thing with the fly more, where you had to buy the fly more separate from the drone.
Yeah.
They did that shit first time with that FPV drone.
I remember. Here's a better picture.
Not a soul complained about how much they had to pay just to fly more in that FPV.
Exactly. Here's a better picture of the goggles. So you can see the 2 vents in the front, which are definitely larger. And from what I understand, you have 2 omnidirectional. And from what a few people have said, I haven't seen it confirmed, but in here are patch antennas. So now, whereas I had to buy this section with a patch on mine, these are coming with 2 omni and 2 patch, because they realize these goggles need to be able to satisfy both pilots, the long distance pilot and the close mid-range pilot.
Put some 2 big helicals right there.
Now, to Copper State asks, what is my opinion on walk snail? To be honest, walk snail is no, I'm going to be nice.
Here we go.
I promise to be nice. One walk snail is a clone of the air unit and the Vista unit that's out there. They've refined it. They've made it smaller. From what I understand, I don't know anything about the resolution, so I'm not going to speak on it until I actually see a unit, an actual working unit, but they are giving out copies of samples of the walk snail with the new Fat Shark goggles they're supposed to be working with. It's competition, Copper State. I welcome it, because the more digital companies that come out, the better things are for us pilots.
As soon as you started talking about it, the government started listening with Google.
I haven't brought anything since my Tiny Hawk. Well, see, right now, just as we transition from 1080p to 4K, the same thing is happening in the world of FPV with the digital systems. So DJI has their ecosystem, as you call it, Herman. Walk Snail is trying to come out, which is Fat Shark.
Which is understandable.
They're trying to come out with their.
I understand that, but you had mentioned before about with them and that camera and DJI
and Caddx.
Right, with the whole thing and the.
Well, Caddx is known for their cameras. There are 2 companies that I'm familiar with as an FPV pilot, Caddx and RunCam. Both Caddx and Runcam were allowed to attach their cameras to the DJI Vista unit. Okay. Caddx went, and maybe on the side went over to, or somebody approached Caddx and said, "Hey, can we use your cameras on our unit, walk snail unit?" The video does look good, Maddie. I agree, but I need to see it for myself. Well, walk snail is Caddx. Okay, so they've been working at it all alone by themselves on the side. So they basically, so in other words, they basically did it the good old American way. They used DJI to get their name out there, and now that their name is out there, they come out with their own shit. Either way, there will be more Vista units out there. DJI never said they were going to stop. You know, so as long as those Vista units right now you can get a Runcam camera out there, which right now is only 60 frames per second. They claim to have a 120 frame per second camera that they're going to put on these Vista units. So if they put a 120 frame per second camera on, I'll get it. It doesn't mean anything to me. It means nothing. Maddie says Caddx stole DJI code, probably. You know, it's Maddie said Caddx stole DJI's code, the coding for the snail unit. It's possible. It's grand startup, right? Copper State. It's a grand to start up with digitally. Yeah, you're fucking right about that. I'm glad the goggles are starting at $500-600. I don't know how much the goggles.
Like I said, I just want to know what they're going to sell this thing for, because the drone is not that big. It's, I mean, what does it cost to? Well, you can't compare the cost to build to what DJI is going to sell you. The cost to build is not even in the comparison. You know, they even with their proprietary shell.
Yeah.
The cost to build is not even. It's not even, because what you're going to spend to build, they're not even spending that to build one.
True, that's true. What you spend to build one drone, they may build 3. You're right about that. But I do have one thing to say, and this is what we hate, Chin. What we've been $1, Herman. This is what they've been saying: $400 to $500 for the drone, $600 for the goggles. That's $1,000, $1,100 right there, easy. But I want to say this: we've been complaining about this as Americans, and now it's starting to happen. And we were saying us Americans need to start producing our own shit again. We need to start making our own shit again and stop outsourcing. So now it's coming to fruition. It's starting to come around full circle.
You know what?
I saw the smile, and I see the wood burning.
We've spent so much time in this country destroying the infrastructure that would make this possible, that it's almost impossible to get it back.
Right.
And it would take much longer than it took to get rid of it to get it back.
Yeah, I agree.
You see the construction that's going on right here in New York, right?
Crazy.
The majority of it is what?
Buildings, tenements. Hey, Paulie.
The majority of it is what kind of construction is it?
They're doing buildings and construction.
Residential.
Yeah, you're right. Residential.
Where the hell are all these people coming from?
You're right.
Anybody who lives in New York knows. You find a place to live, you live there and you stay there unless you're looking to leave, because it becomes costly. So where the hell are all these people coming from?
I don't know.
Someplace.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So the point what I'm saying to you is this. When you start talking about building, we have to build these factories to do these things.
Yeah.
And guess
no one's investing in them.
Guess what city and what's the state, and it's horrible for that. Right here. Right here.
Yeah, New York.
See now, I that's why when guys start talking about certain topics, if you're going to be real about it, then you can't get away from talking about the politics.
I agree with you.
And I said that 100 times, even with this drone game. If you want to be real about it, you can't get to the problem without talking about politics.
True. That's true.
When you start talking about manufacturing and bringing things to here, the last administration, bamboozle. People in Wisconsin, sorry, you gave up your union negotiation ability a long time ago. So what happens is the last administration bamboozled the people of Wisconsin with that whole Foxconn shit.
I remember.
We're gonna build TVs and big screen monitors in this building
and bring money back to America.
Right, and all these jobs, right? The building is still sitting there. They broke ground. They built the building. It's still sitting there. Not one television and shit was built in this shit yet. It's just it's a building for security guards to get a job.
Right. Right now, it's an empty
and then they
building
talked about,
that they're protecting.
They talked about FISCA. See, I listen and I listen to all this shit that they talk. FISCA and them was supposed to build electric cars in the building. Not a wheel spinning yet. Not a wheel spinning yet. So when you start talking about all of this stuff, we talk about politics, then we can't get to the bottom of it then.
Understandable.
All we're doing is talking around it. And we live with whatever we can live with. Next question. Back to the Googles. So everybody's waiting on this drone. It's coming real soon. I hope it's coming around the corner so guys can enjoy it before the summer ends. I hope I didn't upset anybody about the whole thing with the government.
I hope not either.
Government and stuff like that, but it is what it is, you know. Now we got old gal over there in Taiwan trying to negotiate to bring manufacturing back probably. Yeah, come on, stop it. You lucky you got Panasonic just hang out. What was it, Samsung or one of them? Just hang on, just calm down. When is that factory going to get built for no one to work?
True.
But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm waiting to see what's up with these goggles and this drone come out. I know you one of them Cinewoop guys. You always wanted one, didn't you? Huh?
What?
The Cinewoop. Didn't you want one?
Yeah, I've wanted a Cinewoop. I don't want to build one. I will probably I will probably purchase one as opposed to building it because I want a large one. I don't want your standard 2.5-inch prop. There is one with a 4-inch prop out there. Most of the common ones are 3-inch. I don't know yet. We will see. We will see where it goes.
Okay.
You know, there's right now there's no rush. I got my hand in so many pots right now.
No, we could build
if a pot burned.
We get 4 washing machine motors alike, and we can bend some sheet metal. We can bend some sheet metal and stuff, right? Make our own.
See, you know what it is like. Night Train made a valid point. He wants a quiet Cinewoop, and right now none of them are quiet because of the ducts and the design. Right now, you can hear a Cinewoop coming from a block away. You need to be able to have a Cinewoop to fly around nature and stuff like that. You know, I agree with him on that. It's very, very hard because of the duct system to find a quiet Cinewoop. Yes, and those sin lifters,
a lot of those vehicles that we were looking at and some of these concepts for flying cars, that's the thing that they've mentioned too. The amount of noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm listening.
That's what they've mentioned. They've mentioned that too, about the noise.
Yeah.
You remember that guy that had that concept for that flying car that all of the motors were ducted inside of the back? The car, that was one of the issues with that, the noise.
Well, all I know is I'm like in the middle of something. I'm trying to read something and respond to it, and but the ducts that are cut out more help with sound, but ducted quads like squirts are loud because of the ducts. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly the problem. And until they come up with something a little quieter, then it is what it is. I'm in no real rush.
But how are you going to get it quieter? What are you going to do? Make the props move inside that?
Well, see, there's no such system that does that right now. You know, like a helicopter, on a helicopter, you can adjust the props to adjust for noise and trim and all of that. And it's basically
That's how they were able to cut the noise on the Mavic series, by breaking the prop instead of the straight prop.
That's that little dip on the end of the props
that moving independently. You can't see it, but they do. Because if you look at a helicopter, right, it's not one fixed blade that sits there still and just spins. It moves. You know what I mean? It does move. Even like the prop on a plane.
Yeah. All right, I'm done. I just had to respond to something.
So we got a couple of people still here in the chat with us.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going. I'm wondering.
Did you want to show that video that you wanted to?
Yeah. Jody had posted this video. Now, for those of you who are into this is what they used to do. This is the F2C, the final race. This is an actual race over in Europe with planes, and it's kind of interesting because the way these guys take off and fly. You guys are gonna laugh. I may have to speed it up some to show. Wait a minute, I didn't share the screen first. I have to share first. Share. Okay, there we go. And these are planes. You've seen this, right? Now one guy takes off, then the two take off. It's kind of comical because as they get faster, because they're actually racing, they start hugging each other. I was looking at this while that Jody had sent. I never knew that they race like this with the planes. Now, even when they come into land, they have to separate after doing this for a while. This video goes on for a while, but I'm going to fast forward it and show. Now, this gentleman here is about to land, and what he does is you have someone, he catches it, injects fuel from his fingertip. I don't know if you caught that. But hold on, I'll pause it when it comes up. In his fingertip is a fuel injector right here. Watch his finger go to the side of the jet and he will actually fuel it. And when he pulls his finger out, when fuel's leaking out, starts it up and it's off again.
You see the tube down the arm.
Right. And it was just kind of interesting to watch. I told Jody I would show it because I don't know what kind of fuel they use or whatever, huh?
So basically what you're saying is like a guy like you. I don't know if you remember, guys in the chat remember the Grimace.
Yeah,
a guy built like that would win.
Yeah, the big round guy. You gotta
try to get around him.
Exactly. Exactly. You couldn't get around him. But I thought it was an interesting video to show how they do it, how they did that. If you want to watch this in detail, because the video is 12 minutes long, thank you, Jody, for sending us that one there. If you want to see that video, yeah, over 100 miles an hour. So you imagine if that cable popped, bro?
Duck.
Jerry Bauer says when he did it, they did over 100 miles an hour.
Duck.
I could believe it. But could you imagine this in Flushing Meadow with the FPV pilots?
Actually, Flushing Meadows, the reason why it is the way it is
because of that tethered.
It was a tethered park. It was a tethered field.
Yeah.
That was a tethered field. If you talk to guys who've been flying RC for years, and they'll tell you, "Oh, I first started out over in Flushing Meadow in the tethered park." A lot of guys will tell you that, and there's some interesting stories. Watch a tethered plane crash.
Yeah.
It's destroyed. Just totally destroyed. But remember, the tether, the being is that it's tethered.
Yes.
It's harder to get control over it once it's crashed. The wind can take it and back up in the air and smash it again. So anything's possible.
Yes, it is. Anything is possible. And my I could see something going really badly wrong if you didn't know what you were doing there. Unlike a drone pilot who may not know what they're doing and may get away unscathed, that could kill somebody. One of those things hits you on the side of the head traveling at 100 miles an hour.
You don't want to be sitting up too high in the seats. Watch.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be sitting down like near the front row.
Exactly. But if you want to watch that video more in detail, there's the link to it, and it's a 12-minute video. It was a 12-minute race, so I kind of skipped through it.
Flying Guillotine?
Yeah, pretty much.
Remember that movie?
Yes.
Yeah, same thing.
The karate flick. For those of you who don't know, Brother Wu was in that movie.
Brother Wu.
Remember the karate flick? The Flying Guillotine.
Brother Wu, my kung fu is better than yours.
I miss those, man. I remember going to the movies and watching. Now, to show you how we're being robbed when we go to the movies, I used to go to the movies and watch 3 karate flicks. 2 of them were fillers. 2 of them were fillers, and then it was the main karate flick. I went to a 5-borough drone meetup one day, and the guys were in a circle like that, flying hotels. I saw that and just laughed. Stevie's got jokes.
What's good, Stevie?
He's got jokes. He said they were all flying hotels in a circle like that.
They trying to get reception?
Yeah. Oh, trying to get reception? That's funny.
Stevie, it was trying to get reception, or was it cold?
Are they trying to get reception? Anyway, happy Wednesday. We need to pay homage to our sponsors.
No,
it's their time, bro.
But we were talking so nicely.
And Stevie, you started out non-FPV, and you went to get into the world of FPV, Stevie, Capture Life Connection. You brought the DJI system and loved it because as you learn to fly, the drone transitioned with you. Well, now that you know how to fly FPV, the real question is, are you getting that Cinewhoop avatar? And people have asked me, am I getting it?
I thought it was Avata.
Avata, Avatar, AVA, Ava, whatever. But are you thinking about getting it? Who out there is going to get that drone? And I say this over and over if you ask me, because I started with carbon fiber and because I've seen what some of those DJI drones look like, even after crashing at 30 miles per hour. We're not talking 50, 60, or 90 that it can hit. If DJI does not come out with a carbon fiber frame, I will never buy one.
Well, see, here's my problem with
Stevie says he will get it. He's sold on the Sinwoo.
okay.
So keep us
I'm
posted. Let us
just
know. I would like to know
I'm
if other
I'm
people are.
I'm interested in what it's doing, because when a lot of the things that I saw with it, they kept calling it an indoor drone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm not spending
$600.
$2,000 for no damn indoor drone that in 2-3 years, DJ, or if not less, DJI is going to kill the
Don't
goggles.
say 2 or 3 years, year and a half. 2 years top.
I said it, or less. The
Yeah.
DJI is going to kill the damn goggles. You understand what I'm saying to you? Where is that? Where you talking with this other company here? I believe that with the build your own, or even adapt to someone else, another system that's built, pre-built.
Yeah.
I think that that's something that's more, it's kind of hard to say, future proof when in this industry of electronics. But you stand a chance of being able to fly those things a lot longer than you would with going with DJI. And that, like, for instance, Stevie's got I know Stevie flies it all the time, but didn't they just stop production?
Yes, they stopped production of the DJI.
A lot of people, believe it or not, really like that drone.
Yeah, I know. And if it wasn't for that drone, people wouldn't be flying FPV.
Because of what the operating system on it is, you won't see them stop support for it for a while.
This is true. I just wanted to answer something real quick. Maddie, in answer to your question as far as whether the new goggles will work with the existing air units, it's all a matter of firmware. Okay, right now they say the V1 and the V2 goggles will work with the new OcuSync, will work with the new OcuSync 3.0 air unit, version 1 and version 2. But as far as the new goggles,
my answer
with the older stuff, we don't know. Who knows? And who knows? Maybe after it's been out a while, they may downgrade so that people would buy the new goggles and still be able to fly their old stuff. But right now, my V2 goggles, I can fly the new air unit. What do I need the new goggles for?
Right.
Okay, you're driving a Volkswagen, I'm driving a Cadillac. They're just different size cars, but they both fucking drive.
My thing is that DJI will do what DJI will do.
Now, Marcel pointed out something. HD0, everyone's sleeping on HD0, but HD0 is open source. The way FPV was designed to be rolled and done, you can, hey, Lake Pilot, and you can program yourself and stuff like that. My only problem with open source, Marcel, is just as soon as you get used to doing it the way they made that new modification, a teenager or a 15-year-old comes out with new code and they update it again. But other than that, I think open source is the way to go. The Night Train mentioned he's been flying so fucking long. It's back when you had the separate ESCs. You didn't have a stack with built-in ESCs. He had the separate ESCs, and you had to program them, Herman, to do what you wanted to do and the direction of the motor. So technology is changing. Let's see where they go with it. Steve says, I'm happy with the DJI FPV. I went from knowing nothing, right? And I saw that growth, Stevie. I even remember seeing, we were flying together in the Bronx and you almost wiped out against a concrete bridge. I remember that. So to see you go from not flying FPV, Stevie, Capture Live Connection, to flying FPV, that was a great drone. And for them to discontinue use of it, Herman, production. We did a story on it. For them to discontinue production of it, who knows? A lot of people feel that the DJI FPV bird was originally a test. Like DJI does everything with us. We are the beta testers.
When you say a test for
future drones, that they probably have about 20 drones lined up. R&D.
FPV,
Yeah, yeah.
that wouldn't make sense because the simple fact is that look how far
True,
things
Blind
have
Neil.
come now in leaps and bounds within a couple of years.
That's what Night Train just typed. He said leaps and bounds in the last 5 years for FPV and GPS drones.
If you have stuff sitting around for years, and that means you're killing the market in production.
Yeah,
in progress.
they're controlling the market.
No, I'm talking about in progress, and that means just like in the whole. Okay, going back to the whole politics thing, the mattress world.
Yes.
No matter there's no competition. Everybody has a niche and a spot, and they fit in where they fit in. Those same companies that sell me one specific mattress, they're not selling that mattress to your company.
True.
You understand? For sale. So that way, all of those sales that everybody runs, that you can't find this mattress in any other store for this price, you're damn right, because they don't carry it.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you.
See what I'm saying? So this it becomes somewhat the same kind of shit when you start doing that.
No, I understand totally, but I'm a firm believer now after being a DJI.
Right, but if they're controlling where the progress of the technology can go, then that means that them Autel and everybody else is all in cahoots. Just like every other with manufacturing, every other company.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you got two canning companies. I don't care whose names is on the cans. They come out of those two factories.
Yes.
The two soda pop companies. I don't care whose name is on the bottle. They come out of those two factories.
Yes.
Whatever you pay to slap your name on the label, that's what you get out of those two factories.
Yep. You're 100% right. And it applies to a lot of other businesses.
It applies to every damn thing.
Yeah. That's true.
We know what? Panasonic, right? Panasonic, remember Panasonic? Technique, Quasar, same guy.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right about it. I'm trying to see what Marcel put. DJI equals maybe 10 to 20 pilots that upgrade firmware and corrections to their shitty made factory parts, or open source where hundreds, if not thousands of pilots are always putting updates and codes presets. You're right. It's not so much a hard choice because it's Apple and Android. It's PC and Apple. It's PC and Mac. It's always been that. It's one or the other.
Yeah, but what happens with DJI is that you don't have to rely. See, this is where, and coming in with things like with the whole remote ID and all that other stuff like that. Yeah, I get it, but there's a lot more that falls on your lap with this than when you buying off the shelf like a DJI product, where DJI is responsible for all of those type of things. Now you become responsible for it and being up to date and making sure that it's airworthy and all that other stuff. I don't know how that becomes a slippery slope.
Night Train says, I don't mind flying my Orcas with good analog RX rapid fire. And now there's another rapid fire module out since I got the rapid fire. Right. As digital systems improve and become the norm, the regular analog can only get better. I don't see analog disappearing right now. And the reason I say that is because I just recently converted 6 of the 9 FPV birds that I have, right, to digital. Guess what I'm doing with the analog parts?
Right, Stevie.
With the analog camera and the analog VTXs, I'm giving them away to someone that still flies analog. So I don't ever see analog going away. And there are people who are still flying analog to say, I will never go digital. Right?
Yeah, that's why a lot of people didn't.
Right, Stevie.
A lot of people didn't know that the Payless boot and the Timberland boot was coming out of the same factory either.
Yeah. DJI provides the safety features I need at this point. This is true, Stevie.
Well, they do that for a.
But I'm going to tell you this. I have seen people that started out flying DJI FPV bird, and I know a gentleman who brought one, destroyed it, brought another one, and now is slowly switching over to carbon fiber frames and building his own, because he's just not happy with the crash quality of that bird.
We'll see, but here's the thing. And I take my hat off to him, because I told you this before when DJI first came out with that drone. That's not what DJI intended for that drone to do.
They want you in their ecosystem.
They want you to stay here.
Yes.
Anybody can. Okay. You ever watch that show Modern Family?
Yeah.
Okay. Jay, right? He married to the woman that had the little crazy kid. Okay. So he had this bicycle, right? For a kid his size, 10-speed bike with training wheels on it. So he was like, "You can't ride a bike?" Jay asked him, "You can't ride a bike?" He goes, "I can ride this bike." Why? Because it has training wheels. Same thing with the DJI drone. I can fly this FPV drone.
It had training
That's
wheels.
what they expected to do. It's just like, you ever try to, you take a kid 17, 18 years old, we're going down, get you a couple of driver's lessons, we go down to motor vehicles, get you your driver's license, right? By the time he's 21, he's whipping that ride.
Yep.
Take a 50-year-old down to motor vehicles and try that shit. Try that. No. Take a 50-year-old down to motor vehicles and try that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
What'll happen? Stop. Break.
Squirrel.
Why? Because they built a healthy fear of what could happen. The young kid don't have that. You understand? So what DJI expected was all us old dudes to stay here. Fly that drone with them training wheels on it. That's what I believe the DJI expected to have happen.
As Stevie says, I know pilots with GPS and Crossfire, all that, and they still don't have the confidence to venture out. But once they got a DJI FPV, they would chase boats and dive mountains. They say,
because it's got training wheels on it.
Yes.
That's the story I just told. I can ride this bike.
Yeah, because it has training wheels on it. Right. It makes a lot of sense. And I applaud DJI for creating it.
I'm not hating it.
For creating an environment that made people want to fly FPV. Right now, FPV is the way to go. And what they did, they combined a camera drone and an FPV drone together, and it worked.
And you don't got to take it out of any one of those modes for it to be had.
Right. You could fly it in stabilized mode and with obstacle avoidance on, and fly around and whip, and you can even do flips if you want. But if you mess up, you take your hand off.
I don't think you can flip unless you're in full acro. I don't think you can flip.
Oh, well, see, then that's a problem.
But you can get to the point where you're taking little banking turns. You can cruise. You can do your thing.
That's another thing. Maddie has a valid point. They took an FPV drone that people, hey, what's up, Mike, Fly Zone? They took an FPV drone and they made it so that you could go a quarter mile and not worry about dropout. They made it so you can go a mile and a half without dropout. We had people flying.
What made it attractive for guys.
We had people flying over the East River, flying out over the Atlantic Ocean, all over with this drone, where they would have never done it before, because it's so easy to be able to press an E brake, or the drone say, "Hey, wait, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that." So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there will always be apples and oranges. And
look at some of the shots that Tom has gotten out there in the mountains.
True. Cruising over ravines and chasms and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right about that.
Even Stevie be getting some crazy shots too.
Marcel Robbins says it sounds more like drone pilot confidence than drone abilities.
It's both,
It
Marcel.
is. It is. It's a touchy topic.
Back to what I was saying before. That kid, 17, 18-year-old, trying to get out there, trying to want a gun holder drive. They may take more chances than that 50-year-old is getting out there to drive.
Right.
It's the same thing with flying the drone. DJI wanted you to stay comfortable. We got a fence right here. It's penned off. You can fish over there. You can hunt over there. The animals can't get out the pen. Don't worry about it. You don't have to venture out too far. Same thing. Same thing. It's training wheels.
Yeah, I agree.
And it brought a lot of people to the game. They were able to get shots that they weren't able to get before.
Right. It's true. It's very, very true. And my thing is, however you learn to drive a car, bus, plane, rocket, drone, is what you remember. I started out with carbon fiber. I started out buying my drone. I started out buying my drone. Pilot's ability, the drone is very capable. Yes, it is more than capable, but also so is an FPV drone. It's if you learn, and the point I'm making is like I started out to say, I started out flying FPV, and I started out buying my drones. Now I'm building them. But I started out learning that way. So for me to go to a DJI environment where it says, hey, if I let my hand off this button, the drone is just going to hover here, that may seem a little strange to me. It's okay if it works for you. But the way I learned was the way I learned how to fly.
I get that, Lawrence. But see, here's what I'm talking about. Once again, I might step on some toes. You got guys flying crafts that have cameras on them that you cannot get to edit a damn video.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that you got a guy who's been flying camera drone, who just started flying camera drones in his late 40s, late 50s, or 50s. He's going to go and pick up FPV and then get into building drones and flying a bunch of drones all over, whipping up and down in acro mode. Very few in between, especially if they started with the DJI drone.
Now,
they're going to stay in that system of safety.
Now, see, Stevie, Capture Light Connection. I'll actually invite you out to where I live to fly an FPV drone, and you'll say, what's the difference? You know what the difference is? Yours will stop before it hits a wall. Mine won't. That's all.
No.
That's all.
No.
What do you mean?
Those where they can take their hand off the stick, and the same as flying a Mavic 3.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Stevie, whereas FPV, you have to know throttle control. With a DJI drone,
you got to keep that drone flying. Yeah. The bottom line to it, you got to keep the drone flying.
Yes, and that's the point.
And it's the same thing like with those helicopters we used to buy at the mall. You got to keep it flying, or it's coming down.
Wayne B., do you have an office to take the test in the States? Yes, not the 101, the 107 test, yes. There are places, hey, aloha, Sky Control. But the point I'm trying to make is, Herman, when I learned how to fly FPV, I was told if you take your hand off of that throttle, it's going to drop out of the sky.
Right, it's coming down.
Now with DJI, you can go, oh, honey, can you hand me a beer? You know? and go back to flying.
No, you shouldn't be drinking and flying at the same time.
I know that. I'm just being facetious that way. but you get my point. Oh, honey, can you take a hot dog off the grill for me? I'm coming back in. I'm getting a little hungry. You can do that with DJI. And now, but you're right, Stevie. In acro, it will not stop. But Stevie, here's the question: do you fly in acro all the time now?
You don't even have to put it in
part of the time. I haven't flown with you a while, so I don't know how far you've advanced since I've last seen you fly. I know you have advanced.
Put it in acro mode.
Huh?
You don't even have to put it in acro mode.
Right. Exactly. You don't have to. You don't ever have to put it. Everyone is a drone pilot until acro. Copper State Aerial, I salute you on that comment, sir. Sky Control, I'm an acro pilot.
That's the same thing with camera drone. Until the drone go into Addy mode.
Now see, he says he flies in acro most of the time, But you still have that fail safe where I don't want to fly acro today. I just want to cruise. And you have that option to do that with FPV, solid FPV. I won't say real FPV because they're both FPV, but with solid FPV, you don't have that
Conventional, traditional.
conventional. Yes, conventional FPV. You don't have that option. And that's the only difference to me. I mean, I would probably fly a DJI FPV bird, Herman, and get bored.
I don't think so, because it can still go into acro mode. You can still fly it. Just that you now have to be more cautious than you are with what you fly.
That's true. That's
this,
true.
when it
I
comes
can
down,
take my drone and
when it comes down, now you have to either sweep it up or make sure you get all of the pieces out of the sand.
see. Brian Cartwright says he's 100%. He's 100. You can stop and scratch your nose. Correct. Like I've learned in FPV, I can take my hand off the control in conventional FPV. I tilt the throttle so it's slightly on the incline, and I've scratched my head, rubbed my nose, or adjusted my goggles, and then went back to flying.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in the time and effort into acro, becomes just as easy as anything else. I agree 100%.
It's just like riding a bike. Once you get used to it, you can always do it. That's almost anything. But the point of what I don't see how you guys don't see this. You got a 50-year-old friend that don't have a driver's license, let him get behind the wheel of your car.
Yeah, response time is slower.
That's all I'm gonna say to you.
Yeah.
Don't get behind the wheel of your car while you sit in the passenger seat and shit your pants.
No, I'm good.
You're gonna have the same thing with most guys that are older who fly FPV, and the younger guys that are doing it. That's what I'm saying. And the guys that's what makes the DJI system so attractive.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just interested to know when and if DJI is going to create an FPV bird with a carbon fiber frame. Never. And do they plan, if they don't plan on doing it?
Because that means you can't buy Care Refresh.
Right, because you can fix your own shit.
Yeah,
you can fix your own shit.
You know what I wanted to talk to you about though? It seems like the FAA seems to be handing out these waivers for beyond visual line of sight. What's going on with that?
You know what it is? In order for the drone society and community to exist, and for remote ID to come into existence,
they got to test the waters. Yes, exactly. They got to test the waters. So here we go. Utility giant American Water, right? Takes their drone program to the next level. Believe it or not. Check this one out. American Water has received, right, from the FAA, to fly beyond the visual line of sight.
Right.
This waiver will allow American Water to fly their aircraft up to 4 miles away from the home point.
Yeah, this bird right here.
Are you believing this one?
Yeah.
Now this is good for them because they're able to detect environmental threats to the water supply. You know, so that's what this is good for, because they're able to capture so much image and create. And you know, we talked about this in other stories of being able to capture so much footage. And you know, this bird looks very familiar. Capture so much footage and able to compare it over the time and go back to comparing it to last year at this same time. You know, that's what makes that footage so crucial. But it's also good for the UAS program because it allows American Water to capture, which they do annually, more than 500,000 images and aerial maps. So that's a beautiful thing.
Well, to be able to get take 500,000 pictures, you need to be able to cover a very large distance.
Right.
And
the fact, go ahead.
the fact that they're using this particular bird to accomplish that, and to get a waiver to fly over 4 miles, their how would you say, their territory, or
Mhm.
where they own all of this property, where the water is or whatever,
Mhm.
covers vast areas of land.
Right.
You may need to fly 3 miles just to get to
Four
the edge.
miles.
Yeah, 4 miles. You may
Beyond
need to
visual line
fly
of sight. And you
four
remember
miles
when we
to
first,
survey an area.
but you remember when we first talked about this, what was about 3 years ago, beyond the visual line of sight? And we're talking about going back
People
to,
were saying it would never happen.
well, people were already doing it in the consumer drone world,
Yeah.
but in the no, there was no commercial flights. So but now we remember we talked about the symposium and the stuff like that, and they talked about how the cameras needed to be better, the detection systems needed to be better.
Yeah.
At that time, you know, we talking about drones, right? Even like I said, there was no commercial drones flying, so it was only, I said this a long time, where the guinea pigs. Until the
Yeah.
Phantom 4 Pro, DJI didn't even have a drone that had sensors all the way around it.
That's true. That's true. Yep. And look at your drones today. They don't have side sensors. A lot
You
of
know,
them do not.
because they have sensors that are angled to be able to see those areas.
True. This is true,
So
but
the sensor and the cameras have gotten better.
yeah.
So now, and we're nowhere shape and form because got the best of the best, because these companies that create these sensors are
Yeah.
doing the sensors for automobiles for
Right.
autonomous driving.
Yeah.
So we're
Where the
not getting
guinea
those
pig?
sensors.
Where are the
We're not
guinea
getting those
pigs?
quality of sensors and processors for our consumer drones, and what we have is very good for what we got, for what we're paying for.
I know that. I
So,
know.
so we start talking about like this here, right? And this company, excuse me, American Water, they're working closely with government agencies, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny to enable beyond visual line of sight operations or missions to be conducted during TFRs. Because let's be
Oh
honest,
shoot! I
TFRs,
showed the wrong drone for the wrong story. My bad. I showed the
what?
Centennial drone just last on the story you were talking about.
Well, that was the American Water's drone, though.
Oh, okay, yeah,
That was their drone.
that's what I mean. I showed that wrong wrong video for the wrong story.
That was their drone. But American Water, like I said, they're working with government agencies to be able to fly even during TFR. Now, a TFR, right? Why can't uh someone who's working that's official and have the proper credentials take flight during the TFR? I mean, the TFR is only done to protect either the television rights for the game being played in the stadium, or to protect some government official, right? So that's why they keep everyone out of the sky. So if you're doing some work over there, and that the whatever's over there, why not? I mean,
Hmm.
it makes sense. I mean, I like to see where that goes.
Yeah.
American Water, their pilots, it's funny, they receive extensive training, over 250 hours of training, depending on the aircraft and the mission that they're flying.
Well, that's guaranteed to make sure that you're more than qualified. 250 hours is a lot of time to fly, to have in a simulator, or you understand?
Well, it's funny because we spoke with the guys from the fire department with
Hmm.
their robotics unit.
Yes, from New York City Fire
And with
Department. Yeah.
with them doing everything that a fireman has to do for the day, and the training that they have to put in between that, and then respond to fires, they got a
Yeah,
lot. They got a lot to do. They got a lot to do too.
their hands are full.
They have a lot to do too. So I mean, it's
Well, Marcel, Karens are going extinct. Oh, I
who?
forgot to mention. Remember the Karen from the video that I
Yeah,
did?
she's gonna beat
I
you up.
knew I would see her again. I saw her again Saturday night. I was on the beach flying, and a guy was asking me, what are you taking pictures of? She was on the beach riding with her son on a different bike, right?
Okay.
And she went by, and I said, "Hey, yo, you see that lady right there?" It's because I just showed her my YouTube channel. I said, "You see that lady right there? I got her on video being a Karen." And she looked at me like that as she was riding by with her bike. So I said, "I do know." He said, like, "Yo, what did you do?" I said, "Nothing." She tried to get me in trouble for flying my drone. Hey, View Chaser. I don't know. Somebody might, I'd hope somebody did. No, well, not really. But she came riding back a half hour later with her son. And her and her son looked at me with this mean face and rode by. And I said, "How you doing?" And they kept going on down the boardwalk. I just thought it was so funny because when she went by, she went like a double take. Like, yeah, that's that dude I tried to get in trouble. And the
Well, you
cops
better
told
be
me,
careful, Lawrence.
listen.
You ever seen that movie Ted?
Ted?
Yeah.
No,
Never seen Ted?
no. Why? Be afraid, be very
You've
afraid.
never seen the movie Ted?
No.
With Teddy Bear, Mark
The
Wahlberg?
bear.
Ted? Yeah.
I've seen clips of it. I've never watched the whole
Well,
thing.
there's a guy and his son who wants to kidnap him. And he's coming out of after hours after work, and they're like this restaurant or whatever, and they're like he's in the alley and it's real creepy. And he's trying, you gotta be careful. They might catch you one day out there on Far Rockaway on a dark street.
Well, it
Like,
was
hey,
nighttime.
hey, Mr. Drone guy, let me have a word with you. Like
Listen,
flying them freaking drones, right? You're funny, Mr. Funny
listen.
Guy, Mr. Karen stories and shit like
Could
that.
you
Like, let me have a
imagine?
word with you.
Could you imagine? But she's freaking. She rode by. She took a double take, and she put a scowl on her face and just kept going. And then when she must have told her son what happened,
Yeah,
it was like maybe
it was
like maybe 15 or 16 years old. So when they rode back by,
sizing you up.
huh? They sizing me up. Her and her son. Listen, that's okay. I have the police on speed dial. Poor Karens, just in case.
Yeah, they sizing you up. You know what, Lawrence? It's about that time, man.
Hey, Geeks Vana, man, what's up? How are you? Damn, already?
Sean,
What's
what's
up?
going on?
Hope all is well. Yeah, happy birthday, Sean. Those of you who don't know, it's Geeks Vana's birthday. I think it
Birthday.
was today or yesterday, something to that effect. But happy birthday, man.
Okay.
And it is that time, man.
All right.
It's time for dinner. It's time for me to make dinner.
Yeah, it's that time to get up on out of here. It was fun. Nice hanging out with you guys.
Happy hump day.
Happy hump day. Loved it. Great
Yes.
time. Great hanging out with you guys today. Anything you want to say, Lawrence?
That's it. Be safe, fly safer. That's basically it. Not a whole lot going on. I just was trying to handle some other business on Facebook.
Pretty sure everybody wish Sean Geeks Vaughn a happy birthday. Type it up in the chat.
Yeah. 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 Show him some love, man.
It's his 21st birthday. He's gonna have his first drink. Type it up in the chat. Happy birthday. But yeah, we're about to get up out of here. And I guess Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
Good night, everyone.
Later.
See you later.